What's up, everybody? It's your boy Vinyl Crusader with EMP, Everyday Music, Everyday Life Music and Photography here at Howard's Barbershop with my man
Shain McDougald.
All right, we're gonna get into some Q&A questions. I appreciate you taking out the time for this interview.
No problem, bro.
So first question I want to ask you is that you're active duty military, correct?
Yes, I am.
So just tell me why you decide to join the military.
Well, at the time, the reason why I joined the military was because I just wanted to better myself, make a better way for my wife and my daughter. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time, she was my girlfriend, but when I looked at my wife and my daughter, I felt like there was something more that I needed to do than what I was doing out here. So that's the reason why I joined the military, because I felt like it was my duty to join the military to provide for them, and I figured that was my only way out.
Now, being in the military, is that something that you would highly recommend to the young black youth that's out here?
As of right now, this day and age, yes, I would. There's nothing out here in the streets but trouble, crime, and violence. But I will say, before you join the military, make sure that's something that you really want to do. Make sure you have it up here first and within your heart that you really want to join the military to make a difference for yourself. And not only for yourself, but make a difference for the world that we live in today.
All right. So you're from this area, Red Springs, North Carolina, born and raised here. Just tell me about Red Springs and what it meant to grow up here.
Well, born in 1978, I grew up in Red Springs. And pretty much Red Springs is a small net community. Everybody know everybody. So there's nothing for me to be related to someone that lives 3 corners around the way. I have a huge family here. To be honest, I love Red Springs. I think Red Springs is a great place for people to come out and maybe have an opportunity to live here. One thing I can say about Red Springs is that everybody know everybody's business. So if you plan on moving to Red Springs to stay, make sure you got your family, make sure you got your friends and everything close to you. So I'm telling you, because Red Springs is a very small town. Everybody know everybody.
Okay, so we just recently talked about that you were stationed here at Bragg, North Carolina. How did it feel being stationed in the same area that you lived up in? I mean, what's the pros and the cons about that?
Well, for a couple of the pros are, coming from living in Red Springs, coming back to Red Springs, been stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, it gave me an opportunity to come back and see family that I haven't seen for years, friends that I haven't seen for years, and also too, it gives me an opportunity to show the youth, show the community that anybody can make it out of Red Springs. It's not just Red Springs that's here in the world. I mean, there's something that's bigger than Red Springs that's out there. And for me to come back and give back to the community, it says a lot. Some of the cons, just coming back, you're seeing people doing the same thing they were doing 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they still doing the same thing. It saddens my heart to see people that I went to school with that's out here in the world. And plus, just being back is just, it's seeing that the town is not developing like it should, like it's supposed to be. It just saddens my heart as well.
Okay, so obviously you cut hair, you do barbershop part-time. Tell me about, I don't want to sound too cliche, but just tell me about what the token black barbershop means to a community like this.
For one, it's an honor to say that this is Howard's Barbershop. This is my great uncle's barbershop. My great uncle Howard Sinclair, this barbershop been here for over 40-some years. I remember this barbershop before it came to this location here. It was in 2 previous locations. As a young nephew, young child growing up, seeing my uncle working in this establishment, having people coming in from all over the county, Cumberland County, Scotland County. You have some people come from South Carolina, come all the way up here to get a haircut. That means a lot. And to be sitting here today, been able to work in my uncle's barbershop, I mean, basically all we're doing is just keeping the family history going. This is the shop of Robeson County, not just Red Springs, but this is the place you want to be. And for him to have this barbershop steady going after all the years, it means something. It means a lot.
Yes, so if you're in Red Springs, Fayetteville, Hope Mills, it's worth the drive to come down here and get your hair cut. 'Cause my man Shane here does an excellent job. I want to switch the subject a little bit. Not to get too personal, but you are married with children, and you're in a interracial relationship. Just briefly touch on that, and if you had any bad experience with that, being in an interracial relationship, and some good stuff as well.
Well, growing up in Robeson County, I grew up around Native Americans. Well, down here we call them Lumbee Indians. I grew up around white culture, black, Mexican. I grew up around it all. Me and my wife, we've been married for 14 years now, and we have never experienced any type of racism from anyone, because around here in Robeson County, the Lumbee Indians and the blacks, we normally get along. We always date each other. There's always interracial relationships that's going on around here. So for me to be married to a Native American, I mean, I ain't gonna say it's expected, but I mean, it's the everyday way of life. I mean, people see that on the regular, so it's nothing new.
Okay, and so staying on the topic of family, you're getting ready to leave next week to go to Korea for a year. Just talk about how do you feel having to do that tour of Korea and having to leave your family behind?
Well, this is not my first rodeo to Korea. Actually, Korea was my first duty station. But at the time, I only had one child at the time, which is my oldest daughter, Cameron. And me and my wife at the time, we was only dating. So to be going back a second time with 3 kids, and they're old enough to know what's going on in the world, it kind of saddens me a little bit that they're not going to see me maybe for a whole year, or maybe for 6-8 months at a time. I have gone away before for a short period of time, but for a whole year and not be able to see your family for a whole year, that's going to take a toll on my kids and my wife as well.
Okay, so and my last question before we wrap this up, just want to ask you, so by joining the military, do you think it saved your life, or do you think you still would have been successful doing something else if you hadn't decided to join?
Well, to be honest, I have no regrets of joining the military. The military had made me a better man, it made me a better father, it made me a better husband. I have no regrets. If I had to do it all over again, only regret I do have is that I wish I would have went in straight out of high school. But I went in in my early 20s. I was at least 22 years old when I went into the military. So now when I retire, I'll be at least 42 years old. But like I said, if I didn't join the military, I probably would have ended up doing something for the common good, but it wouldn't have been as positive as it is now. You know, being a role model and people seeing you in uniform and actually seeing you defend your nation, defend this grateful nation, and the sacrifices that you make. I don't know. I tell you, to be honest, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't join the military. Maybe I would have been a barber to this day. Maybe I wouldn't. I will say that I wouldn't have had 3 beautiful kids and a wife. That's one thing I will say that I probably wouldn't have if I didn't join the military. But I have no regrets to this day from joining the military. None whatsoever.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time.
This is Shain McDougald, and you was watching EMP.